let's dive into a really wild and, yeah, kind of brutal thought experiment. What would actually happen if you took one of the deadliest predators from the jungle and just dropped it onto polar ice? So, really, what happens? You've got this king cobra, right? This absolute symbol of power and danger, and suddenly it's on a giant ice cube. You'd think it would fight, right? Or at least try to find a way to survive? Well, the answer is a shockingly fast and definite no. And the reason why is an incredible lesson in just how specialized life can be. So, first, let's talk about the snake itself. Because the very biology that makes a king cobra such a terrifyingly efficient predator in the jungle, well, in this new environment, that same biology becomes its biggest enemy. It basically seals its own fate from the moment it lands. Okay, if there's one word you need to remember for this whole thing, it's ectotherm. This is the cobra's fatal flaw. See, it means it's cold-blooded. It cannot make its own body heat. Think of it like a solar-powered machine. And we've just thrown it into a place with no sun and a frozen floor. We've unplugged it. To put that in perspective, you and I, we're endotherms. We're like little walking furnaces, always burning calories to keep ourselves warm. A cobra, on the other hand, is an ectotherm. It's more like a rock. It just becomes whatever temperature its surroundings are. And when your surroundings are solid ice, well, that is a recipe for disaster. And this really gets to the heart of the problem. This snake is a masterpiece of evolution, designed over millions of years for one specific place, the hot, humid jungles of Southeast Asia. It has zero, and I mean zero, tools in its biological kit for dealing with freezing temperatures. It's not just unprepared, it's the exact opposite of prepared. Now, this isn't some slow, drawn-out process. No, we're talking about a total system failure that kicks in almost immediately. The whole thing is pretty much over in about 2 minutes. It's a terrifyingly fast countdown to a complete shutdown. The speed is just mind-blowing. In the first 30 seconds, its entire nervous system gets hit with this massive thermal shock. A minute in, it can barely move, just some slow, clumsy twitches. And by the 2-minute mark, that's it. Game over. It's completely paralyzed. Think about what that feels like for the snake. We're talking an instant temperature drop of something like 40 degrees Celsius. That's like you stepping out of a cozy warm house straight into an Arctic blizzard. But instead of just feeling cold, your nervous system literally just shorts out. It's not just a feeling, it's a full-on physiological attack. So why does this happen so incredibly fast? Well, that long, slender body that makes the snake so graceful is also its undoing here. It's like a giant radiator with a huge surface area just bleeding heat out into the air. When you've got no internal furnace to replace that heat, you've got the perfect recipe for a flash freeze. And this is a really important point. When that snake stops moving, it's not falling asleep. It's not trying to save energy. It's being forced into something called a chill coma. All the tiny chemical reactions inside its muscles that let it move, they've slowed to a crawl and basically just stopped working. This isn't a choice, it's a complete involuntary shutdown. Okay, so now things get even worse. That paralysis, that was just the beginning. The real damage, the stuff that you can't come back from, is happening deep inside, at a microscopic level. This is truly the point of no return. You know, some animals that live in freezing places have this amazing biological hack. They have a kind of natural antifreeze in their blood. It's called a cryoprotectant. It literally stops them from freezing solid. But the king cobra, it's from the tropics. It never evolved to need it. And right now, that one missing ingredient becomes absolutely catastrophic. So, here's exactly what's going down inside the snake. First, its body temperature dips below freezing, below 0 Celsius. Then, the water inside every single one of its cells starts to form tiny, jagged ice crystals. It's like microscopic knives. And finally, those crystals grow and literally shred the cells from the inside out. It's total demolition on a cellular level. The result is just complete devastation. We're talking about its organs, its muscles, its entire body being shredded from the inside out. It's not just frozen anymore, it's been physically destroyed. There is absolutely no coming back from that. So, what's the final verdict? I know what a lot of you are probably thinking. Wait, don't snakes and reptiles just hibernate? Can't it just wake up later? Well, let's be super clear. That is not what's happening here. Not even close. The proper term for what those other reptiles do is brumation. And here's the key. It's a survival strategy. They find a place that's cool, but not freezing, and they slow their body down on purpose. What's happening to our cobra is the polar opposite. This isn't a strategy. This is a complete and catastrophic system failure. The key thing to get here is just how final this is. The heart stops beating, the brain dies, the organs are physically destroyed. You could magically thaw it out 5 minutes later and it wouldn't matter. There's nothing left to bring back to life. It's not sleeping, it's just gone. Yeah, there's a line from the source material that sums this up perfectly. It calls it a violent physiological shock followed by a rapid shutdown of all life functions. It's not peaceful, it's violent, it's fast, and it's a total shutdown of life itself. A really brutal end for such a powerful animal. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? I think it's that even the most fearsome predators, the ones at the very top of the food chain, are actually incredibly fragile. Their power is completely tied to their special environment. You take them out of that environment, and all their greatest strengths suddenly become their biggest weaknesses. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about, doesn't it? I mean, a king cobra on ice is obviously an extreme example, but it really makes you wonder, what other apex predators, these masters of their worlds, are living on that same kind of biological razor's edge? What happens to them when their world starts to change around them?